The Chronic Kidney Disease Journey, Part 2. Chronic Kidney Disease, the Inside Story. But before I jump ahead of myself, let me tell you what else my doctor told me. We've always known that CKD is caused by other conditions, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart conditions, too much excess weight and so on. So it makes sense to tackle those conditions if we're to address CKD. Doctors tackle those conditions, either by significantly reducing their effect on our bodies, or by successfully reversing them completely. This much has been well understood for a long time. We also know another vital element of the story, that the conditions I listed above, diabetes, high blood pressure and so on, are often the result of low-level, ongoing inflammation in the body. Those conditions are either made worse by this ongoing inflammation, or, more often, are directly caused by it. Finally, we're well aware that the inflammation itself is mostly caused by a faulty immune system. In other words, our immune system is being triggered way too often, which leads to ongoing inflammation, which in turn overwhelms our bodies and creates damage throughout the pathway to disease. So, a faulty immune system leads to widespread inflammation, which leads to one or more of the diseases mentioned, which leads to CKD. This is the pathway to disease. But what causes the faulty, malfunctioning immune system in the first place? What's that initial trigger that sets off the whole thing? That has always been a mystery. Yet if doctors could find out how to stop the immune system from malfunctioning, then the inflammation, the disease and the CKD all goes away. And now we know. In the last few years, scientists finally found out. The immune system malfunction that causes your chronic kidney disease comes from problems in the gut. Yes, the gut. We now realize that, incredibly, most of the Western world's major killer diseases begin in our guts. This one insight has changed forever how scientists now tackle disease. And this isn't theory, by the way. It's not guesswork. It's heavily researched, scientific knowledge. The details are straightforward. When we're talking about your gut, we're not talking about bloating, or stomach ache, or anything like that. We're talking about the fascinating environment within your intestinal tract. That environment, also called the microbiome, contains trillions of fantastically useful bacteria. We're used to thinking of bacteria as being harmful. But over 90% of the bacteria in a healthy gut perform functions that keep you alive. They do things for you that your body itself simply cannot do. When healthy gut bacteria dominate our guts, and unhealthy gut bacteria are kept to a minimum, we are at our healthiest and happiest. When this balance is disturbed, we get ill. If it's disturbed for long enough, we get very ill. Here are just a few functions gut bacteria carry out for us. They directly affect on our moods and emotions. They manage our growth from childhood to adulthood to old age. They strongly regulate our weight. Food cravings come from bad gut bacteria, not greed. They eliminate toxins that our body cannot handle, preventing an overwhelm of blood poisons. They extract essential, life-preserving vitamins from food that our body simply cannot access, and which we can't survive without. Good bacteria literally keeps us alive. So we need it to be in the best shape possible. Why? What does poor gut health mean? If the number of good bacteria are reducing, then bad bacteria gain an upper hand in your gut. Given enough time, the damage they cause to your body can be bad, then severe, then fatal. Conditions that are directly linked to poor gut health include diabetes, liver disease, cardiovascular disease, some cancers, gout, high blood pressure, celiac disease, heart disease, kidney disease, arthritis, thyroiditis, psoriasis, irritable bowel disease. Recognize anything on this list? If you have even one of these, then your gut health either has a major hand in it or, in most cases, your gut health is the actual cause of it. Remember the pathway to disease we mentioned a moment ago? We understand that pathway now. Poor gut health leads to immune system malfunction, which leads to low-level inflammation, which leads to one or more of the above diseases, which then leads to CKD. By the way, if you're at type 1 diabetes, T1D, sufferer who has been told that your diabetes is for life because its cause is unknown. That story is currently being rewritten. Consider this from a 2018 white paper. Recent evidence shows that altered gut bacterial composition is highly associated with T1D and, thus, targeting gut microbiota may serve as a therapeutic potential for T1D patients. Pathogenesis means the development of the disease. The scientists here are suggesting that the therapy for type 1 diabetes is to target the state of the sufferer's gut health. Or this from a 2019 white paper. Among the included studies, 24 articles confirmed the association between gut microbiota dysbiosis and T1D. Gut microbiota dysbiosis refers to imbalances in the environment of the gut. Here, the researchers have confirmed that the state of the gut is associated with type 1 diabetes. Dozens of heavyweight scientific research papers are reaching the same incredible conclusion. Researchers aren't allowed yet to claim that repairing gut health successfully eliminates T1D, even though the evidence points convincingly in that direction. But gut health is heavily implicated in T1D, in the same way that gut health is now known to often be the only cause of all the other conditions I just mentioned. It's this insight that is now leading us into startling, yet very simple, remedies for Western society's most deadly diseases. Stay tuned for the chronic kidney disease journey, Part 3.